Questions rolling in here. Oh, man. Yeah, the chat is upset. No ankles. I feel robbed. That's from Jesus Hermosia. Yeah, Matthew, you got a different look today. The ankles will be back, what, Monday? Maybe Sunday if people are lucky?
You know what?
Oh, here we go.
You know what I'm going to do?
Be careful. Don't strain anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't pull anything.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
can't really see an ankle.
Here,
5-1 odds. Barry is not wearing pants, which
there you go.
those odds might have cashed, judging by that angle for the
little,
angle.
Let's run that screen grab on FNIA.
Oh boy.
Atrocious.
Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Happy Hour, the start of a new lovely week. Connor Rogers, Matthew Berry, Jay Croucher. I love the chat already. David Davis, what a name. What will the excuseler come up with today?
That's
a good
nice
question.
little toe
Sticking.
wiggle, by the way, at the end of that ankle show.
My toe? You didn't like my toe?
Well, you gave a little wiggle. I don't know. I don't know about the wiggle.
It's showing proof of life is what it's doing. You know,
Troubling.
It's a Victory Monday as well, so very exciting.
For some.
In terms of who?
There's a lot of different ways we could.
Jane Daniels won his
Jane
football
Daniels,
game.
that's what.
You lost yours.
Oh, yeah, my team's terrible. It is what it is. Yeah, my team's terrible. I mean, we can get into that if you want to.
That's all right.
I think there's more important things to do. Asked and answered. You know, like when you're in court, you know what I mean? And you just keep beating up a witness. And the defense, one of the other attorneys will say, Your Honor, asked and answered. Like, it's been asked, it's been answered. Why do you keep asking the same question? So, yeah, I mean, asked and answered.
That's a good
My team is terrible.
Yes.
My second-round pick was Derrick Henry. My third-round pick was Chase Brown. They both suck.
Should have listened to Jay.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry, done.
Bingo, bango. Should have gone with Keaton Mitchell in the second round, obviously, to Jay's point. Jaden Daniels was my first-round pick. He's missed a couple of games. It is what it is. My team's terrible.
It's okay. We don't have to. It's like Tom Cruise didn't keep on asking Colonel Jessup if he ordered the code red after he said he ordered the code red. We don't have to keep on beating the dead horse.
I'm just asked and answered. My team is terrible. We have not officially lost, although we will lose tonight ultimately, unless somehow Xavier Worthy somehow manages to outscore Patrick Mahomes.
And then have an excess of 18 points.
Yeah, by 18 points. That's what I need to happen. And so I guess 3 reverses.
Yeah. You need the Xavier Worthy run game.
And I will tell you that in another league that I candidly care more about than this league. In another league, I desperately need Xavier Worthy to score less than 8.5 points. So I am rooting for. I hope you beat me by 19 points or more.
It's like a nice 13-point night for Xavier.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what's going to happen, by the way. Xavier Worthy's going to do enough to make me lose, but not enough that helps me. Not enough that helps me against you as well. So no, I'm going to lose to you. I will fall to 0-5. It is what it is. My team is just terrible. We're not good.
You and the New York Jets.
I'm the Jets. It's me and Aaron Glenn. We're both on the hot seat. I at least have 2 titles to rest on.
Right, he does not.
Very Belichickian.
5 games.
I'm very Belichickian at the moment. I have these titles. I have this legendary career, but at the moment, I'm just pissing it all away.
You're the Colorado Rockies. You're Bud Black. Bud Berry.
Yeah,
have to get fired.
There, exactly. Exactly. Unfortunately, my wife is my age. So, but other than that, me and Belichick right there.
Awful straight for Ben.
Just Belichick, the whole Belichick thing. That's where it's going.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Anyway,
Bud Black.
It's a Victory Monday for the Commanders. For the Tide, I was there in Tuscaloosa, as you saw. Roll Tide. We beat Vandy. Big victory for the Crimson Tide.
Lots to get through as we recap the games. We'll also have, of course, your Weekend Warriors, Sunday Scaries, Monday Night Football preview on the second half of the show. But let's jump right into it. An absolute thrilling game between the Bucs and the Seahawks, which Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold dueling in this one. Of course, the unfortunate interception for Sam Darnold at the end. But the story of this continues to be the rookie sensation that is Emeka Egbuka, who spoke after the game on the offense's ability to keep winning right at the wire.
I forget the saying. It's like one time's luck, second time's a fluke, and third time it's a real deal. So I think this is the fourth 2-minute drive that we had this year out of 5 games. And, NFL is down to the wire a lot of the time. So you have to have someone at quarterback that has that capability, and Baker has that for sure. We're never out of the count. And, it was a back-and-forth game. It was a little bit of a shootout. There's going to be times where, we as an offense have to have our defense back, and then there's times where they have to have our back as well. So it's a whole cohesive unit. We're one team, one heartbeat, and we ended up coming out victorious, and that's really all that matters.
What a ride it's been for Emeka Egbuka. It was interesting because we knew Chris Godwin would miss the first couple games, and it was like, okay, Egbuka is going to be viable. Then Mike Evans gets hurt. Now it just feels like it might be his offense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you sort of go away from him. Like even when Mike Evans is back, Chris Godwin was out there for a bunch of snaps, didn't do a ton with it. I mean, Chris Godwin got 4 targets, whatever. I mean, Cade Otton got 5, Tez Johnson got 4, Emeka Egbuka got only 7 targets here. He had the big 57-yarder there as well. He's the first player in NFL history with 25 receptions and 5 receiving touchdowns in his first 5 career games. You're seeing all the underlying stats. He's in the Puka Nacua conversation. He's in the Randy Moss conversation in terms of a rookie wide receiver coming in the lead and just setting it on fire in terms of not just NFL production, but obviously fantasy football production as well. He's averaging 89 receiving yards per game. He's had at least a 20% target share in every game this year except for one. And the most impressive things to me about this is he did this on the road at Seattle. With the exception of possibly Miami to Seattle, I don't know that there is a longer distance you can travel inside the United States, not counting the London games or anything like that, but just for a game inside the United States to travel from Tampa Bay to Seattle, which in theory is a tough place to play, although the Seahawks are 2-8 at home over the last 10 games. By the way, Baker Mayfield, 29 of 33 in this game. Like, he's just been on fire. That's part of it as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to win MVP by the end of the season, but if you held a vote today, I think Baker Mayfield would actually win MVP because they're 4-1. His stats are amazing. He's led all these game-winning drives, all 4 of them in their 4 victories. He's been phenomenal. I think with Egbuka, the only thing, and concern is relative. Like, you're going to start Emeka Egbuka every week the rest of the season. You mentioned Puka Nacua. He's not quite getting that kind of target share, right? He's been dependent on these deep balls. But Connor, at some point, the deep balls, which normally you think are very prone to variance, maybe it might just be a part of his game.
Well, especially when you have a quarterback as efficient and accurate as Baker, right? Yeah. That's the difference. If this was a quarterback that was a little bit more spotty with the accuracy, but no, this is the Bucs offense. This is what Baker Mayfield does. And Emeka Egbuka, I understand at times the volume wasn't there for him in college because of the players he played with, but when he did get opportunity, this is also exactly what he did. So this is for real. This is no bit of a fluke. This is sustainable right now.
Average depth of target, to your point about the deep balls, 13.8 is his average depth of target. He's had at least 3 or more deep targets in every single game this year. It is part of his game, his makeup there. Aloha Bricks wants to know, is Egbuka going to be a top 10 pick next year? At this pace, probably. At this pace, probably. We always ask, why is this happening? And so as long as the offense is the same, as long as Baker Mayfield is still his quarterback, and I don't know if Mike Evans is back next year. Right. But I agree with you. Next week, if you told me Mike Evans is back next week, I'm still ranking Egbuka the highest of the 3 guys between him, Godwin, and Evans. And I think the most important thing here is again, with Baker Mayfield, you mentioned it. We talked about this in the Football Night in America pod. Baker Mayfield has had 4 different games this year where the Buccaneers have taken the lead in the final minute. Yeah. Right? I mean, they're the cardiac kids, the new cardiac kids and everything in the fourth quarter. And the point is that when you're making those crazy comebacks the way the Buccaneers constantly do, if you're Baker Mayfield, who do I trust? 3rd and long, 4th and long, got to have it play. Who do I trust? And the answer is Emeka Egbuka. He has earned the trust. He's not just making some splashy plays and a couple of big things. He has earned the trust of one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, a team that is going to be throwing a lot. It's fun to watch. Not a fluke. It's been awesome. The other thing in this game here, guys, I think was we thought it might be a bit of a we thought Rachaad White would lead this backfield. We thought we might see some Sean Tucker. It was all Rachaad White in this one, Connor.
81% snap rate. I mean, and the thing we said about him is we know they trust him in pass pro even when Bucky Irving is healthy. But I think what was not surprising, Jay, but what was obvious is they just trust him on the field all the time when there's no Bucky. And this is a team that does still have some balance in terms of run pass.
Yeah, maybe don't think about him like this way, but he's like a veteran of that team and that organization. He's been through multiple regimes. He was the clear lead guy in the Dave Canales offense 2 years ago. He clearly has Baker Mayfield's trust. They gave him the ball with the game on the line against Houston back in week 2, even when Bucky's out there. So, Yeah, I mean, there was uncertainty just because we haven't seen it. It's like when there's new running back situations, you just don't know what's going to happen. Like Michael Carter versus Carter, we don't know what's going to happen. They're going in. Rachaad White, though, this was pretty emphatic. Like, he is clearly, like, you can't start Sean Tucker going forward.
No, this was a disappointing game for Tucker. Played only 21% of the snaps, only 6 total touches, had -1 yard. Rachaad White got 75% of the Buccaneers team running back touches, had a 12.5% target share. Played 81% of the snaps. Like, he was the guy. He literally inherited the entire Bucky Irving role without ceding any of the Rachaad White role. So finishes, as we head into Monday Night Football, he's the 7th best running back in fantasy. Huge day for Rachaad White against a defense that we thought he would have success against, because we talked about this in Fantasy Football pregame, that the Seahawks, we thought their defense would play better than they did in this one, but their one vulnerability is pass-catching running back. So we thought Rachaad White would have success. I think I had him as a top 20 play. He's going to end the week as a top 10 play. Nice job by Rachaad White. If Bucky Irving misses another game, which it looks like he might, Rachaad White would be another top 15 play against the Niners in Week 6.
Over 27 fantasy points for Sam Darnold. He is QB3 heading into Monday Night Football. Matthew, news or noise here for Darnold, who, before the interception, was phenomenal yesterday. And even there was a little bit of bad luck with the
tipped,
interception.
I don't think,
Yeah, it tipped 28 of 34. His QBR was 95 in this game. His passer rating was 135. Like, again, this wasn't just volume. I mean, like, he was super efficient. 28 of 34, 341 yards, 4 touchdowns. And it's weird is that I think it's somewhere in between news or noise, which is that, like, the reason I say that is it news because, like, he's playing well. Like, I don't think this is a fluke. Sam Darnold is an above-average NFL quarterback that's playing really well and is a good fit in Clint Kubiak's offense. They're starting to find some weapons beyond Jackson Smith and Jigba. A.J. Barner had a nice game. We'll talk about him. They've obviously got the good running game here. Cooper Kupp's pitching in. We like Torrey Horton. But to me, I also think it's kind of noise because I wouldn't at the moment be comfortable with him as my number 1 quarterback in a 10 or 12 team 1 quarterback league. So I think he's somewhere in that. He's, as we head into the buys, I think he's a viable streamer. I think he's a very viable 2 quarterback superflex league guy. I don't know that I'm ready to say, like, yes, he's a locked in top 12 fantasy quarterback the rest of the way. He doesn't run. So he needs kind of this insane volume. And I don't know that every game is going to be a shootout like this. This was just one of those games that sort of, they went back and forth. Huge, incredible battle between Darnold and Mayfield. But, like, the Seahawks defense generally is pretty good, and I just don't see Darnold getting into these shootouts week in, week out, Jay.
They have a very low pass rate over expectation as a team, the Seahawks. They want to run the ball with Kubiak,
Yes.
and also this was a pass funnel defense in Tampa. Whenever Vita Vea is there, that you can't run the ball on Tampa Bay, but you can throw on them. So I do think this is an outlier. I think Darnold is a mid-tier to high-end QB2.
Our next game here, guys, completely got away from the Chargers after the first quarter. The Commanders, slow start to this game, but they dominated after that first quarter on the backs of the run game, especially there, Matthew. Bill gets 2 touchdowns. I know he had the fumble. I give it like a little one.
Yeah, a little
Come on.
Like a little clap.
Jacory Croskey-Merritt breakout game. The fumble wasn't great, but season highs in touches and snap rate. He played 49% of the snaps. 16 of the team's 23 running back touches. The most important part here was that he looked explosive, right? So he got the 2 touchdowns. They weren't just like gimme, on the 1-yard line where he fell into the offense. Like, they were explosive runs. He gave them a spark that they didn't have. Now, I still think that they used him a little bit in the passing game, but I think ultimately, he got 2 targets, but he caught both of them for 39 yards. One was a very big play. So I still think you'll see some Jeremy McNichols in the passing game. You'll still see some Chris Rodriguez, but I think this is the Bill Croskey-Merritt breakout game. He had 16 touches in this game. 7 of them gained 10 or more yards. Again, there's just an explosiveness to him that this offense thrives on, and they want him to be the guy. It's one of the reasons why Brian Robinson was moved off. And again, he's a rookie, and they're easing him into it. But, like, the snap rate is going up every single week. I think he's an RB2 moving forward. I think in the right matchup, he could be an RB1. So, again, let's not get crazy carried away. He's a low-end RB2 because the usage still isn't fully there, but it's trending in the right direction, and I'm a believer in the talent.
Yep. To me, Connor, maybe the most, even more stunning out of this game is not Bill, but in 2021, the 3 best skill position players in football were Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, who had the best wide receiver season ever, and Deebo Samuel. And Deebo Samuel, he's not quite back to that level, but he looks like a kind of borderline elite wide receiver again.
Yeah, he's turned back the clock. I don't know if it's just because he's finally healthy. Obviously, Cliff Kingsbury knows how to use a guy like that. And the fact is,
Contract year.
contract year always help.
Yeah.
They need him to be because of the injuries they have at wide receiver with no Terry McLaurin, and credit to Jaden Daniels, who can revitalize probably any receiver in this league right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of all those things. I think, probably finally healthy, motivated. I think, contract year. Not to say that he wasn't motivated before, but certainly it's different. He's on a 1-year deal. His contract's up at the end of the year, so he's slimmed down. He's healthy, and we said this at the time of the trade that his skill set and the kind of offense that Cliff Kingsbury runs are a perfect fit. It's one of the reasons why Washington went out and got Deebo Samuel, friend of the podcast, multi-time friend of the podcast. He's been on the show many, many times. Heavy Meat Sauce, which is
Matthew's nickname.
is indeed this might be. Does somebody have access to my burner account? Asks JCM or Woody Marks rest of the season.
JCM.
I'm going to say it's Jacory Croskey-Merritt. Disappointing game for Woody Marks. We liked him a lot this week. He didn't have a big game. We'll get to that later, but.
There was a Chubb-a-sance.
Yeah.
The Troubler rose again.
Really amazing at this point.
Full Chubb.
Yeah, he got
chubbed up.
He did get chubbed up.
One Chubb goes down, Chuba Hubbard, and the other Chubb rises.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there was a rising.
Balance of the universe.
A chubby rising.
As it always has been. Yeah, one Chubb goes up, the other must go down.
On the other side of this game, guys, for the Chargers.
We got a full Chubb this time.
Justin Herbert, bit of a slump here. He's now had under 15 points in 3 straight games. He's thrown 4 interceptions over this 3-game stretch as well. He only threw 3 all of last year. Much more passing in this offense, so that's going to happen. And then the disappointing news, Matthew Amarian Hampton hurts his ankle in this game. It sounds like he could miss some time.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see on that one. Obviously, that's a bummer. More tests today, so we'll probably know more by tomorrow's show. But obviously not great. He was in a walking boot after the game. Don't love that. So cross my fingers. If he were to miss time, we'll talk about this more tomorrow, but feels like it'll be a committee between Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal. The other thing is that they're not blocking, right? I mean, Sean Slater out for the year, Joe Alt with a high ankle sprain. He's going to miss a few more weeks as well. Like Washington, which doesn't have like the most amazing pass rush, was able to get home quite a bit. They ate him alive, and so I mean, you saw it in the box score a little bit. This is one of the reasons why Justin Herbert had 60 yards rushing. He was running for his life a little bit, but getting to him, getting pressure to him. And honestly, the Chargers had this game. They were up 10-0, and they had the momentum on the side, and then just a couple of interceptions. And then the one that turned the game was the interception in the red zone. Just a brutal pick by Herbert. And again, I think I don't want to say full yips, but a little bit, because I don't know that he trusts that line yet.
Yeah, nor should he.
Yeah,
No,
right.
It's Austin Deculus, Trey Pipkins, Jamari Saller had to play right tackle. I think combined the 3 tackles gave up 5 sacks.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And this is what happened in the Houston playoff game as well. They just got rattled by the pressure, and the pressure was unrelenting, and it's difficult to overcome that. So Herbert started the season super brightly, obviously. Still think he's going to be a viable starting fantasy quarterback, but you have to lower the ceiling a fair bit.
They're on the road at Miami next week, which should hopefully cure some ills.
Our next game, guys.
Nice to see Ladd McConkey, though.
Yes.
22% target share, catches the touchdown. Still not all the way back, but the touchdown helped ease a lot. Saw his first 2 end zone targets in this game. Again, the 22% target share isn't massive, but it's the highest that he's seen in quite some time this year. So happy to see. It feels like we're starting to get back to Ladd McConkey. And by the way, if Hampton does miss time, they'll be all pass. Like, all due respect to Haskins and Vidal, it's just going to be passing to those 3 guys.
We'll cover more of that on waivers throughout the week.
Rodney Gadsden didn't show up in the box score, but he ran a lot of routes. He was out there quite a bit.
They need something at tight end.
Yeah, they need something. Yeah.
Our next game, guys, terrible game between the Cowboys and Jets, but a fantasy buffet to go all around. As expected, these defenses have been bad. Dallas, their lead scorers did exactly what you expected. Dak was great. Javonte Williams had a huge run before the half. Jake Ferguson scores 2 touchdowns before the half. George Pickens, not his biggest day, but he catches the long touchdown over Sauce Gardner. And even on the Jets side, because of garbage time, you had Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor get theirs. But this story was all about Dak and the run game under Brian Schottenheimer, which the quarterback spoke on after the game.
He's a hell of a player, great running back, understands the schemes, understands the pass game, understands what we're trying to get at, always is going to get positive yards. I mean, there's been numbers of plays now where it should have been a negative play, and the guy he's so strong, shakes his defender off of him, still gets a first down and third down. or fourth down, whatever it may be. He's a huge help to this team. He's been a great addition, and credit everything he's doing. But there's a lot of those guys up front tonight who went and created holes for him and played nasty and played to the end of each whistle. And Javonte running hard like he always does resulted in a big night for him.
All right, guys. Well, now the question is, can Javonte Williams continue to get away with this? At this point, it just feels like he's in a – they had 4 backup offensive linemen yesterday.
Yeah.
And they were able to run the ball.
The thing is now it's like it's been 5 games now, so this is like a material sample.
Physically, he looks different than the guy that was coming off horrible injury in Denver that couldn't get his legs under him.
The thing is, too, is that like Dak Prescott's just playing at such an insanely high level that he is just carrying this offense at the moment. I don't think that is necessarily going to change. Is it like right now he's 1 run away from being second in the NFL in rushing yards behind Jonathan Taylor. I don't think that is probably going to sustain, but the idea that he's a top 10 running back, I think, is perfectly viable.
Clay Latham asked Matthew, is Javonte Williams the steal of the draft?
He's one of them.
There's
no question.
Sure.
There's absolutely no question about it. Yeah, I mean, there's a few of them, right? I mean, but he's right up there. You know, if he's not the steal of the draft, he's one of the top 5. There's no question about it. As we head into Monday Night Football, he's the 6th best running back in fantasy. He's running back 4 on the season. For a guy that was kind of left for dead in drafts, and the people that did draft him kind of like, crap, I kind of punted running back. All right, fine. Javonte Williams, I guess. I hope, right? There was all this preseason buzz about Jaden Blue. He finally makes an appearance in this game. Doesn't do anything. Miles Sanders, nothing as well. He's averaging over 19 touches a game. And look at this upcoming schedule. At Carolina, home to Washington. At Denver, home to Arizona. With the exception of the Broncos, like 3 of the next 4 are really good, are good to great matchups for opposing running backs. And Jay, your point is absolutely right. Like if you're a defensive coordinator, kind of pick your poison. Dak Prescott is playing as good as any quarterback in the NFL right now. And so you're sort of like, and as CeeDee Lamb, I mean, even without CeeDee Lamb, right? I mean, whether it's Pickens and, and Ferguson.
Flournoy yesterday.
Flournoy, like, yeah, I stupidly started Jalen Tolbert, and we'll get to that game. But no, I mean, like, by the way, Jalen Tolbert had a 91% route participation.
Yeah, he's out there.
Yeah,
earned
Great day cardio.
Yeah. Earned 1 target. Like, like I started Tolbert against you, like, stupidly, like, because the thought was right. It was just, apparently it was Flournoy was the guy, not was against the Jets, and no Cavante Turbin, 91% route to participation, 1 target, like. Oh, my God. Jalen Tolbert, terrible.
I think a huge part of evaluating players and for fantasy real life is how resilient are they going to be if the context changes? And we've seen now this offense, like, all right, CeeDee Lamb out, still fine, absolutely humming.
Yeah.
Offensive line decimated, still fine, absolutely humming, because Dak Prescott is just that good at the moment.
He really is. Dak is playing elite. Yes, I don't think Javonte Williams is a sell high. I think he's a legit RB1, low-end RB1, but still a legit low-end RB1 for the rest of the season. And Jake Ferguson is a legit, tight end 1. Honestly, a top 5 fantasy tight end. 4th straight game now with at least 7 receptions and 16 or more fantasy points. Only Trey McBride has a higher target share on his team among tight ends than Jake Ferguson. Again, he's fully healthy. Dak's fully healthy. This offense is rolling. I just mentioned the schedule here. I don't think this is a fluke either.
The only thing is CD coming back, CD being a bit more in the slot, taking more of the intermediate stuff, whether that takes a bit away from Ferguson's target share in his route tree. But yeah, even given that, there's not many tight ends I'd rather have over Jake Ferguson, like Trey McBride, Tyler Warren, Kittle when he comes back.
It's a short
Tucker
list.
Kraft, maybe. That's it. I'd rather have Jake. I think I'd rather have Jake Ferguson than Brock Bowers, given the Brock Bowers knee stuff at the moment.
Yep.
We'll see. But he's definitely in
the Fergler.
Discussion.
The Fergler is right up there. Fergalicious.
Yeah.
Brian Schottenheimer, by the way, Jay, 30-1 to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I think he's got to win the division to win that, but the Eagles don't look great at the moment, so it might be a winnable division.
Yeah, there's 14 coaches above him. I think
that's silly.
Right, I agree.
He should be a top 6.
Think about the hand he was dealt for the year. Your owner traded your best player, who's on defense.
Yep.
You got really nothing to work with on defense. You have to outscore everybody every week by a wide margin.
Yep. The only thing there is Steichen, Shanahan, Vrabel. Those are 3 pretty imposing names at the top, particularly after Vrabel's win last night.
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn's not in the mix.
Also 30-1.
Yeah, see, Sean should be much shorter than
No, but honestly, like, what, they're 2-2-1, right? The Cowboys are? Let's assume they beat Carolina. Now they're 3-2-1.
Yeah.
My game against they could easily beat the Commanders, like at Denver, at Arizona. They go 3-1 over this stretch, however that works out. And now
He's probably, what, 20-1 after
Yeah,
that?
I like 30-1. I think it's a good bet. I think he's going to go like at least 11-5 and win the division. Like, it gets tough towards the back end. The back end, you got to play Eagles, Chiefs, at Lions, Vikings, Chargers, at Commanders. There's going to be some losses in there because the defense just is what it is. But I think Schottenheimer he's been very underrated because Dak gets so many headlines, justifiably so. But yeah, this team has upside.
But if they could bank some wins here in this, the week 6 through 11, right? Panthers, Commanders, Broncos, Cardinals. They got a bye in week 10 at the Raiders. Okay, fine.
You can go 4-1 heading into the
and then week 12 through 16, tough schedule, but all home games except the week 14 game at the Lions, right? Home to the Eagles, home to the Chiefs. That's the Thanksgiving game. You can see them sneaking one out there. Week 14 at the Lions. Week 15, home to the Vikings. That's on NBC and Peacock. That's the Sunday night game. And then the Chargers in week 16 home. So like if they could split those. Split the home games, which is certainly,
Yeah, I
can make the case. I can make the case.
My bet there would be Shanahan, though, at 8-1. Kyle Shanahan plays Shane Steichen on Monday Night Football in Week 16. I think that game decides
Coach of the Year.
Nice.
Coach of the Year
bowl.
Yeah, I like that. I like that call.
Our next game, guys.
Even though it should be Dan Quinn, obviously.
We
should have got more love last year.
He definitely should have gotten more love last year.
Raise the flags in the chat. Also wanted to remind you, don't sleep on Kevin Stefanski.
2-time Coach of the Year. A lot of people don't remember that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't remember
3-time would be real
sweet. Cycle Coach of the Year to Kevin Stefanski every second year, and Joe Burrow gets to win comeback player every second year.
Every other year.
It's a giant scheme, Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, and by the way, if Zach Taylor ever makes a quarterback change, he's in the mix. He might be in the mix if he suddenly.
It's tough out there.
You know who's not in the mix at all, but who actually should be? Legit, all jokes aside, Sean McVay.
Yeah,
Sean
McVay. He was 25-1 after
Sean
check that.
His greatness is just kind of accepted.
I know, but
you get punished for that.
But that Belichick, did Belichick ever win Coach of the Year?
He
won once, right?
McVay's 25-1. Like, for context here, you get punished for that.
Mike Tomlin's never won in his whole career.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of insane. Like,
McVay, Brian Daboll's of the world.
I mean, the Rams have been great this year. The Rams have been absolutely great this year.
Like, Dan Campbell should be more in the mix for this.
Yeah, he's 10-1. That seems ridiculous, honestly.
Stupid.
All right, how about the electric factory that was Dolphins-Panthers?
Before we move off this game, the last thing I'll just say here, Mason Taylor, obviously we'll talk about him tomorrow, I'm sure, as well. But, like, we've talked about him for a little while here. Back-to-back games now with at least 25% target share, at least 65 receiving yards in both games. Connor, we've talked about him, honestly, since the preseason.
Yeah.
We talked about, like, this is likely going to be their number 2 pass catcher after Garrett Wilson. That's played out, and Justin Fields has been good enough. It's a good matchup against Dallas. They were in comeback mode, but still, they're looking for 85 quite a bit.
Yeah, you're probably going to need to stream a tight end at some point. Mason Taylor needs to be rostered. The target share is just too high, the usage. Dolphins-Panthers. Dolphins blow this one at the end. Huge win for the Panthers. Rico Dowdle had 206 rushing yards in this game. That is the most by a quarterback or by a running back in a game this season. We got to hear from Rico Dowdle not only on this big performance, but he's got the Cowboys on tap next week.
Yeah, I think it's always a chip on my shoulder just from the start of coming into the NFL, sitting behind those guys for years, going undrafted. But yeah, so I've always played with a chip on my shoulder, and it's just the nature of the business that I didn't end back up in Dallas, and I'm here now with a new team, and I'm happy where I'm at.
But to do this right before y'all play Dallas, was this kind of like a message, like y'all should have resigned?
Oh, for sure. They got to buckle up. I think they know for sure. I've been there 5 years. They didn't keep me there for 5 years for no reason. I definitely say that, but looking forward to playing those guys next week, and we'll get to it. We'll handle that when I get there.
They got to buckle up. I like that.
Uncle Rico.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah. State champions, baby. Could have gone pro.
My God.
No, that was fantastic. And so the question is now is like, okay, so what happens when Chuba Hubbard comes back?
Yeah, I think he's more of a half Chubb.
I never like to participate in Chubby slander. You know that about me. But here's the thing. Chuba Hubbard's not Jonathan Taylor or Saquon Barkley. If a guy runs for 200 yards, he's going to start getting at least half the carries in the offense, I think.
He has to.
The Dolphins' defense, though.
True. That's true. That's the caveat.
Dolphins' defense. And the other thing is again, like, who knows with this coaching staff, Jay? The only thing that I'll say is, like, Chuba Hubbard, like, I would have made that argument. The only weird thing is that, like, last year, Chuba Hubbard got paid, you know, at a time when they drafted Jonathan Brooks. You know, everyone forgets about Jonathan Brooks, right? You know, who's had, multiple unfortunate injuries in the NFL. But, like, Connor, they paid Chuba Hubbard real money.
I mean, really good running back money. Like, workhorse, number 1 running back, top 10.
And then they paid Rico Dowdle after spending a relatively high pick on Jonathan
Dave
Brooks.
Canales is just, he's hoarding running backs.
He is. And
the other young Kyle Shanahan.
But the other thing about Dave Canales is that at least when he was in Tampa Bay, he sort of liked one guy. Like, again, he didn't care that Rachaad White was averaging 3 yards a carry. He was just like, we're giving him 20 touches. And so at least traditionally he's sort of been like a one running back guy. I'm with you. I don't know how you put the toothpaste back in the bottle after 200 yards. It's Miami, but still. 84% of the team's running back touches. He also had a 15% target share, was second highest on the team. It's the most scrimmage yards by a running back in the NFL since Saquon had 302 against the Rams last year, which cost me a parlay. I'm still bitter about that. Like, they're just trying to run at the clock.
Never forget.
For the love of God. Like, you know, like literally, like, it was an under of 49. Yeah, oh my God. Still, and like, anyway, they just let him run for a third one, whatever.
Yeah.
Stupid
Gambling's
Rams.
fun.
Okay.
Panthers have a better record than the Baltimore Ravens, by the way.
Yeah, they do. Anyway, here's what I will say about Rico Dowdle, who's obviously the number 1 running back in fantasy, who's headed into Monday Night Football. We'll talk about him a little bit more tomorrow. He needs to be picked up. I don't know what his role is once Chuba Hubbard comes back, but whatever his role is, it's better than it was before, right? And so given that Hubbard missed the end of last year as well with a little bit of injury, right? You know, had the big game, that like the 2 touchdown game, and then missed I want to say week 16 or 17 off the top of my head, but he got banged up towards the end of last year. He's banged up this year. So Dowdle, impressive performance. And as this Panthers offense looks for answers, maybe they try to do something with both guys in the backfield. Again, Bryce Young he's struggling.
Yep.
I know they win the game, but like, he hasn't looked great.
It was a tough, at least first half.
Yeah.
So, on the other side of this, Jay, Darren Waller, I mean, is he a tight end 1 going forward? Like, it kind of felt not fluky against the Jets, but, beware of him being able to replicate this. And he goes out and he replicates it.
68% route participation, which is really key. I got a few people messaging me yesterday about Darren Waller, comeback player of the year. Like, didn't he take a year off to be a rapper? Does that count as a comeback story? Maybe. It's a great story.
That's why it's a bad award.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to win because I think this team is going to kind of recede into the background a little bit. But he is, I think because of the end zone targets, that he is going to be a viable, startable tight end each week. And because he's got such a high target share, when he's out there, even if he's not, playing 80% of the snaps or anything crazy, he's going to get end zone targets. And also, he's going to become, I think, the number 2 guy in this passing game. At least Achane might be number 2, but he'll be right there with Achane behind Waddle.
Disappointing game from Achane. I mean, like, thank God he got the receiving touchdown. It was pretty bleak. This offense looks a little bit of a mess. But to your point about Waller, 36% route participation in his first week back. This week, up to 68%. So they're ramping him up. They're using him more. They were looking at him more. They were using him not just in the end zone, but on intermediate throws. I was hopeful that there'd be more Malik Washington this game. There wasn't. I still believe in Malik Washington, but the offense is a disaster. This was not a good game for Miami, but they get home next week against the Chargers. They've traditionally been much better, especially Tua has been much better at home than they have been on the road. Chargers defense showing some, sort of some cracks. My guess is that's a 1 o'clock game as well. So West Coast team traveling east for a 1 o'clock game. Waller, yeah. The other thing, has Waller ever won Comeback Player of the Year? I feel like
No, he hasn't. He should have when he initially came onto the stage because he has an amazing story.
Unbelievable story.
I wonder who won that year.
I don't know. It just goes to the quarterback. It was the best
first
stats.
1,000-yard year.
It just goes to like Phil Rivers or whatever. Because he had a bad year the year before. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a stupid award. But yeah, that's it. That would be interesting. Like his breakout year with the Raiders.
Yeah, he should.
Like what should have been. All right. Somebody that honestly deserves Comeback Player of the Year is Jamar Chase, just because what he's had to come back from for his quarterback play.
Defensive Player of the Year, Jamar Chase.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
3 tackles?
Yeah,
3 tackles.
Demon.
Bengals.
Shout out to those of you in IDP leagues that had Jamar Chase and got points for.
He's more productive than Travis Hunter in that role right now. This game was completely out of hand, despite the score at the end suggesting different. Jamar Chase catches the deep touchdown pass. Sam Laporta had a really hot start to this game. The Lions could basically do whatever they wanted on offense for a while. Jake Browning ran up some points in the fourth quarter. T. Higgins gets a touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah.
Like that's how my luck goes. Like this team was getting just brutal, and could Chase Brown get a by the way BS touchdown?
You got some cheapies though.
I didn't get that.
Jake Browning's default mode, like when a Roomba goes and parks itself, Browning's mode is just chuck it down to Chase Brown 3 yards and fall forward.
I mean, still not a great fantasy day from Chase Brown. It was a great day from Jamar Chase. Much of it coming in the fourth quarter. He was 4 for 31 in the first 3 quarters. His first touch, the play you probably all saw was the second touchdown where he's streaking down the left sideline and he just blows by the guy and just gets hit in stride, which was a nice throw by Browning. But the first touchdown was actually the ridiculous one. Jake Browning throws into triple coverage, and somehow Jamar Chase comes down with it with both toes on the sideline. It was just it was a stupid throw, and somehow Jamar Chase came down with it.
To me, it kind of reminded me, the stakes much, much lower, but it reminded me of the Matt Ryan throw to Julio Jones in the Super Bowl, where it's like, oh, unbelievable throw and catch. You never should have thrown it.
Right.
You should, particularly with Browning, he just never should have let that. He's just, he just seems to be broken at the moment, and I don't think they can start him again going forward, frankly.
No, but they're going to have to, although I guess in the post-game press conference, Zach Taylor sort of did open the door. He is, up till that now, has been sort of very much no, Jake Browning's our guy. He opened the door a little bit to maybe considering it. They're at Green Bay next week.
I think
so you've got a Packers
team. Lions there. They're 14.5-point dogs, and then bring in Russell Wilson the following day.
Anyone.
Think about you've got Green Bay that's had 2 weeks to sit on that tie to Dallas, a game they're bitter, right? Green Bay has lost the Browns, tied the Cowboys, and had a week off. And now they're back home at Lambeau, and here comes Jake Browning. It's
trouble.
It's trouble. I don't know how you can. You may not have a better chance, but I don't my team's so bad I have to. But how can you keep starting Chase Brown? I mean, he's averaging under 50 yards from scrimmage in Jake Browning's four starts, 46 yards. Can't get in the end zone. The blocking is awful. Browning is awful.
The only guy you can start on this offense is Jamar Chase. You can't start T.
Higgins. The T. Higgins experience was awful yesterday.
Yeah.
You can't start him.
You got bailed. Cheapiest touchdown at the end of the game.
Yeah, you got bailed out by the touchdown, but he's had 3 end zone targets so far as well.
Scoop Newton.
Yeah, Scoop.
What do we do with Jameson Williams?
Bench him.
Yeah.
For all the greatness of the Lions' offense, it's shocking how little involvement he has.
They just have so many good players.
Right, they do. And they are winning by 1,000,000 points, it feels like.
Every pass goes to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then they run as much as any team in the league, just about.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, no, you shouldn't bench Jameson Williams. You should drop Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
Honestly, unless you're ever going to start him, why would you keep Jameson Williams on there? He had a 4% in a game in which the Lions dominated. He had a 4% target share. On the season, he's averaging under 8 fantasy points per game. He's wide receiver 62. And 48% of his points so far this year came in that Week 2 game. Week 1 was the last time that he had more than 2 receptions in a game. Isaac Tesla. Isaac Tesla is taking some of the work away. They've got Laporta as well. Obviously, Amon-Ra is kind of a vacuum in terms of all the targets. They're so effective on the ground, which is how they want to play that offense. They want to be Sonic and Knuckles, Lightning and Thunder, that's how they want to do it. And why wouldn't you do that? Because it's working. They're 4-1. We asked the question last night in the Football Night in America pod, who's the best team in the NFC? And we all said
Detroit.
The Lions are.
I think
the Eagles are right there.
They're the best team in football, I think.
They're wagging right now. I feel like we got the Week 1 Scaries because John Morton had a tough debut calling plays, and he's figured it all out since.
He has.
By the way, rest of the season, I think Puka Nacua is wide receiver 1. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown might be wide receiver 2 because they're running the ball a ton, and he still just puts up these 100-yard games. He didn't get in the end zone yesterday, but he has 6 on the season. There's no other player I'd want. JSN, I think, would be the other candidate, but he's been dependent on these 50-yard bombs. Amon-Ra is just an absolute beast.
Him and Goff are just dialed in.
Matthew, why is the chat saying you didn't have any faith in 5 yesterday? There's a lot of chatter in there saying that you didn't have faith in 5. They're surprised you were. I don't know.
You abandoned them? Just
I don't remember.
Remember when you abandoned Terry McLaurin before the season?
Maybe they are calling back.
You wrote off Debo. Yeah.
I actually have no idea. I'll own whatever I said, but I asked the chat, why are you saying I didn't have faith in 5?
Please update me, chat. I wasn't here yesterday.
All
Our last
right,
game,
come on.
The Broncos beat the Eagles 21-17. A really.
I can't believe they're questioning my faith.
Yeah, I don't know.
I pray at the Church of Jaden.
I'm just the messenger. This was an ugly fantasy game. Bo Nix was great in the fourth quarter. 9 of 10 in the fourth quarter. He really figured something out. Cortland Sutton was solid. Other than that, guys, the Eagles tried to get the pass game going. Saquon had the big run.
There was an Evan Ingram appearance, which was nice to see. Finally, he fell into the end zone here. I like Dobbins once again. He's now scored in 4 or 5 games this season. J.K. Dobbins, not to the extent of Javonte Williams, but J.K. Dobbins is another like draft day value who's been great. And that was the credit. One of the reasons why Denver won this game is they were like, screw you, Philadelphia. We're going to just run at you. Yep. We don't have a scare. The Eagles' offense is. It's broken.
It's just bad.
It's awful.
It's just not good.
I don't want to say there's such a weird 4-1 team.
I agree.
Saquon bails you out fantasy-wise because he had the wheel route where he ran and he caught the pass for the touchdown. But 6 for 30.
Yeah.
6 for
they were leading the whole game as well.
How does Saquon Barkley only get 6 rushing attempts in this game? They tried to get A.J. Brown. Surtain was on A.J. Brown a decent amount. Devontae Smith has a big game in this one as well. Jalen Hurts' QBR was under 50.
Yeah.
And this comes after a week before where they had -1 yards of offense in the second half against Tampa Bay.
My theory, Connor, is that the scheme has never been super sophisticated.
It's not.
And everyone is just playing slightly worse, and there's a bit of wear and tear coming off the huge run, and that just adds up to this being right now it's like a slightly below average offense statistically, despite the talent.
They kind of go out every week and they're like, we're more talented than you. The run game's not creative. They don't run a ton of different pass plays. And the jarring thing in this game was...
It's like 10 plays. Supposedly that's the rumor, that they have like 10 plays.
Hurts took 6 sacks against zone coverage yesterday. So he's holding the ball against man. It's like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. It's super easy for him. Once the Broncos flip to a zone-heavy defense, they have no answers to the test. That's scary because now teams know that. So, all right, that wraps up our game recaps. We're going to take a quick break. When we're back, we got Weekend Warriors and,
but you have to still keep starting them.
Sunday Scaries. I don't know what else you do.
Lower expectations.
We'll be back.
It was lit, prime time. I played here before. I've been on the other side. It was just electrifying, and I knew that it was going to be a test for us. Obviously, with the guys that we got, and you know, we all new to each other. I think 9 new starters compared to 11 on offense. So going into a hostile environment, and the biggest thing is just the fundamentals and being violent. You know what I'm saying? Like, be the aggressor. It's going to be a hostile there. You know, it's a great football team. So trying to take the fight to them.
That was Stefon Diggs after the big win at Buffalo. Signature win for the Patriots. Drake May, Mike Vrabel, and Stefon Diggs with almost a 43% target share. That was 12 total targets, 10 catches, 146 yards. He headlines our Weekend Warriors, and Stefon Diggs drinks for free.
Yes.
A little extra fire in this one.
Chief Ball Officer Stefon Diggs.
That's right. People forget that.
Yeah, people forget that he does have an executive position. Chief
the
Ball
board
Officer
of
and
Balls.
Yeah, friend of the podcast, friend of the show, Stefon Diggs. Good to see this. Over the last 2 weeks, he's had a 42% target share. This is something we talked about on Fantasy Football pregame. That was part of my parlay that ended up cashing last night, as I had 4 receptions for Stefon Diggs. Cashes it very easily, winds up with 10 over the past 2 weeks. He's a top 10 fantasy wide receiver on a points per game basis, has yet to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I think he's a wide receiver 1 going forward. I don't see why not. He's the clear alpha wide receiver for a good quarterback. For a team that throws the ball a ton, he passes the eye test as well. He just looks like Stefon Diggs again.
How about Rashid Shaheed, Jay? He has the 87-yard touchdown, 114 total. This is kind of the game with Rashid Shaheed. If you get the big play, you're going to be really happy he was in your lineup.
Rashid the dream. Yeah, this is the thing, is that, again, you don't love the only 5 targets, but that's just going to be part of his game. It's just, if you need high variance, he is the guy to start in your lineup. Taking off your bench. If you're playing from behind after a rough Thursday night, chuck Rashid Shaheed into the mix because he can do this. Just can't count on it every week. Though, to be fair, he is one of the best at doing this. It is fairly reliable.
How about Calvin Ridley? This is a weird one here because Ridley's been not great this season. He gets 10 targets in this game. He only catches 5 of them, but 131 yards. Cam Ward had the deep ball working in this one. That throw on the last drive to Ridley was amazing.
Yeah, Ridley came into the game banged up. We weren't sure if he was going to go. It was looking like he was trending towards not. We thought this would be the Alec Ayomanor breakout game, and it wasn't. Ridley had a huge game here. 141 receiving yards total in his first 4 games, has 131 in this one. It was a crazy game. They were coming back. I'm not sure I totally buy it. Like, again, nice to see. But this was such a nutty game. Tennessee had no business being in this game. By the way, good for them for doing it, because Amari DiMarcardo with the dumbest play in the universe, like a week after A.D. Mitchell does it, how do you not? Arizona deserved to lose this game.
Agreed.
Like, I feel so bad for Cardinals fans. Like, how frustrating it must be to watch that team, because they had no business losing that game. They intercept Cam Ward, and somehow it turns into a Tyler Lockett touchdown.
His biggest play of the year.
I mean, it was stupid, as it will. But anyway, in terms of Calvin Ridley, we'll talk. Good to see signs of life from Calvin Ridley and from this passing offense. The one thing we'll say is that Tennessee's schedule, after a really tough start, gets a lot easier. Next week, they're at Las Vegas. So that's a pretty good schedule.
CJ Stroud, Jay, the Ravens' defense is kind of a punching bag right now. Stroud gets 4 touchdowns because of it.
Yep, this is the best 2-game stretch of Stroud's career since his rookie season. At the same time, Titans, Ravens, I would argue those are the 2 worst teams in football right now, at least until Lamar Jackson comes back.
You should watch the New York Jets sometimes.
And they're on a bye this week as well, so yeah.
But good signs that he's able to do this, even if it's against bad
For
defenses.
sure, and as we said, Nick got back up to a full Chubb. Woody Marks, disappointing.
Yep.
Soft Woody, unfortunately.
Anti-Chubb.
What are you going to do? Anti-Chubb, yeah, what are you going to do?
Inverted Chubb.
Yeah, but they're on a bye next week. We'll deal with that in 2 weeks.
Back to Arizona here, Matthew. The good Michael Carter, 18 carries for just 51 yards, but he gets the touchdown. He also catches 5 passes. Maybe Arizona should have just kept handing him the ball.
He was the guy. Look, he averaged 3.2 yards per touch, so it's not like he was killing it, but the volume was there, as you said, 23 running back touches, played almost 60% of the snaps, was involved in the passing game as well with a 17% target share, second best fantasy game of his career. He's the guy you want moving forward. They're at the Colts next week.
Theo Johnson makes our list at tight end. 6 of 7 targets he caught for 33 yards. But most importantly, Jay, with most tight ends, this is the case, 2 touchdowns.
The 7 targets is the key, and the fact that he is the target in the end zone. I think Theo Johnson's the #1 pass-catching option for an NFL offense.
Certainly feels that way.
Yeah.
I mean, Jackson Dart.
20% target share in Dart's 2 starts, which is a team high.
Yep. Sunday Scaries, the tougher part of this segment. James Cook, guys, 15 carries you like, 49 yards, and not finding the end zone, which is always the concern, Matthew. It finally happened.
Well, this is what we've said. Like when he's not, because the volume isn't always there, had only 15 touches, 3% target share, he hasn't been always consistently used in the passing game. So when he doesn't score, games like this happen. 4.9 fantasy points per game. They're at the Falcons next week. The other concern is only 33% of the team's red zone rushes. It's his first game this year without a goal line carry. Ultimately, he'll be fine, but yeah, he's a little more touchdown dependent than most running backs of his stature. Again, because he's an RB1.
Alvin Kamara here, Jay, 8 carries, 27 yards, 4 catches for 28 yards. The volume has just been shockingly low in recent weeks for Kamara.
Only one more touch than Kendre Miller, which is the concern.
Yeah.
Kendre Miller looks good too,
Yes,
so I think that situation is going to continue to trend in that direction, I think.
The only positive is that he at least got involved in the passing game, which he hasn't been. He got 4 receptions in this one. He had 6 targets, but I'm with you. Just to the eye test, Kendre Miller looks like the better running back. Needs to be stashed because you have to feel there's a chance Kamara's on the move.
Saints playoff bound as well. It's coming. We're back. We're back in business, baby.
Never wrong, just early. Yeah. Matthew, you mentioned this earlier. Woody Marks just didn't have the week we were hoping for. Only 7 carries, 24 yards, and it was a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, look, he played 38% of the snaps. You don't love that. Had only 21% of the team's rushing attempts. If there's a positive here, he still led the backfield in snaps. He actually played more snaps than Nick Chubb. He got 2 red zone rush attempts. He got 1 goal-to-go rush attempts, just didn't convert them. But the Woody Marks takeover of this backfield might have been a bit premature. Nick Chubb not going away quietly. Tough day at the office for Woody Marks. Same with Jakobi Meyers as well. 3rd straight game with under 10 fantasy points. Your boy Gino looks awful.
My boy? Why is he my boy?
Yes, you love Gino.
I don't never.
You have constantly been a Gino.
Yeah,
you've constantly. You attach your previously good name to Gino Smith many times on this show.
I'm a Colts man.
Oh, for
I'm
the
an
love of
AFC
God.
South
He looked
veteran.
awful.
All right.
And no Bowers as well. That hurts as well. Disappointing day at the office for all of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Monday Night Football preview when we're back. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just download the Sportsbook app and use promo code FFHH when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook.
The crown is yours.
Oh, the crown's yours.
Crown is yours. It's time for last call. Let's take a look at the most bet Monday Night Football props on DraftKings, where the crown is yours. Patrick Mahomes passing touchdowns, 2+. That is at minus 147 right now. Jay? A lot of Chiefs on this board. Are you following that path?
Yeah, a lot of big names in this game. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. So give me Diami Brown. Over 29.5 receiving yards.
Commander's
I don't
great.
think people realize Diami Brown's been the best wide receiver on the Jags this year. Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter are a mess. In his 2 healthy games, he went for 50+.
Yep.
There's nothing unsustainable in terms of like massive long receptions skewing that. So give me Diami Brown to get at least 30 receiving.
Commander's legend, Diami Brown.
That's damn
Holy
right.
rights.
I'm going the same path as him. I'm looking for guys that could affect the middle of the field for this Jacksonville passing attack. Brenton Strange, one of your favorite players ever, Matthew.
Yeah.
Over 3.5 receptions. Here's the good news. The last 2 weeks, his usage has gone up. He's run 74% of the routes. On third downs, this is the guy they look for. Almost a 30% target share on third and fourth downs. Brenton Strange, he should get to 4 catches in this game.
The Jaguars' passing offense is broken, but it does seem
They
those
throw
two,
all the
those two
unexciting
guys,
players.
Parker Washington as well.
Yeah.
But that's part of my thinking here, because I'm taking the under on Patrick Mahomes' 248.5 passing yards. The Jaguars' offense is broken, with the exception of Travis Etienne breaking off a couple, which means I don't think they're going to have to throw a lot, the Chiefs, in order to beat the Jaguars. I think this is going to be one of those primetime unders games in Jacksonville. This feels like an ugly kind of a slugfest here. So Mahomes, I don't think he's going to have to air it out. Xavier Worthy, questionable so he may not be out there, or if he is, he might be less than 100%. Give me the under on 248.5. He's only hit this number twice so far this year. I don't think he's going to have to throw a crazy amount against the Jaguars. Here are my top players as you see the ranks. I have Mahomes at QB6, but Lawrence at QB18. Hopefully you're not starting any Chiefs running back. Hopefully we see some Bashal Tutin there. Again, Worthy is wide receiver 10, but that's, again, before the questionable designation. Be ready to have a pivot on the chance that he can't go today. You're probably still starting Brian Thomas Jr., but we're hoping for signs of life from him. I will say this. I do think Travis Kelce gets in the end zone. It's the day after his birthday. His fiancée just released a massive new album as well. Everything's coming up Travis.
Any upside left for Travis Hunter? His receiving prop's 29.5.
I think they'll purposely target him in the first half early tonight. I actually almost took his receptions prop, but I went with Strange, who's oddly been more reliable.
Yeah,
I think he's just going to play offense now.
Yeah, it's not a bet that I wanted to give out on air, but like if I was like Travis Hunter to catch a reception on the first drive might be an interesting
shallow
one.
Cross,
Plus
something,
money, something
Take the national heat off.
Yeah, exactly.
See, we should have traded everything for this guy, the second overall pick.
100%. Yeah, it's just a little bit of that. So anyway, I hope your Monday Night Miracle comes through tonight. Mine won't. I'm going, whatever. Asked and answered. My team's awful. It is what it is. It's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. For Jay and Connor, I'm Matthew. Good luck tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.